Al-Fatiha. Where and when it was revealed. According to many of the most reliable scholars of Islamic tradition, the entire chapter of Al-Fatiha was revealed in Mecca, right at the very beginning of the Prophet's mission. From those earliest days of Islam, it became the beating heart of Muslim prayer. The Quran itself points to this chapter in a verse that was also revealed in Mecca. We have indeed given thee the 7 oft-repeated verses and the Great Quran. Some reports do mention that it may have been revealed a second time in Medina, but its first revelation belongs to the earliest, most foundational period of Islam. The names of this chapter and why they matter. Most people know this chapter simply as Al-Fatiha. This chapter has 10 authentic names, and each one reveals a completely different layer of what you've been reciting. The most well-known name is Fatihatul Kitab, the opening chapter of the book. Over time, it was shortened to Surah Al-Fatiha, and then simply Al-Fatiha. But the other 9 names, let's go through them. 1. Al-Fatiha, the opening. It comes at the very beginning of the Quran and acts as a key to understanding everything that follows. 2. As-Salat, the prayer. This chapter isn't just in the prayer, it is a complete and perfect prayer in itself. It is the essential core of every rak'ah you perform. 3. Alhamd, the praise. This name teaches us something profound about why we were created, and shows that the relationship between God and human beings is built on mercy and grace, not fear and obligation. 4. Quran, Mother of the Quran. This chapter contains the core message of the entire Quran in compressed form. Everything you need for your moral and spiritual life is here in these 7 verses. 5. Al-Quranul Azim, the Great Quran. Even though it's called the Mother of the Quran, it is still a part of the Quran itself, not something separate from it, as some have mistakenly thought. 6. As-Sabal Mathani, the oft-repeated 7 verses. These 7 verses answer every essential spiritual need a human being has, and this name also confirms something important. This chapter must be recited in every single rak'ah of the prayer, without exception. 7. Kitab, Mother of the Book. This name points to something even deeper. The prayer contained in this chapter played a role in the very coming of Quranic revelation itself. 8. Ash-Shifa, the cure. This chapter is a source of healing, specifically for doubts, confusion, and inner unrest, the kind of restlessness that lives quietly in the chest. 9. Ar-Ruqya, the charm. It doesn't just heal, it protects. This chapter guards a person against Satan and strengthens the heart against spiritual attack. 10. Al-Kanz, the treasure. This chapter is a limitless source of knowledge and wisdom. You can return to it your entire life and keep finding something new. A prophecy in the New Testament, and its connection to Al-Fatiha. The most common name of this chapter, Al-Fatiha, shares its root with a word that appears in a prophecy in the New Testament. In Revelation 10:1-2, it reads, I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, and he had in his hand a little book open, and he set his right foot upon the sea, and his left foot on the earth. The Hebrew word used here for open is fatwa, directly related to the Arabic Fatiha, then in Revelation 10:3. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. Those 7 thunders are understood to represent the 7 verses of this chapter. Many Christian scholars agree that this prophecy refers to the second coming of Jesus Christ. What this chapter is actually about, Al-Fatiha, contains the essence of the entire Quran. In 7 verses, it introduces every major theme that the rest of the Quran expands on in detail. It begins with the key attributes of God. These aren't random descriptions. These are the foundational qualities that everything else connects to, the basis of how the universe works and how God relates to you personally. The 4 attributes introduced here are Rabb, the creator, sustainer and developer, the one who doesn't just bring things into existence and walk away. He continuously nurtures, grows and develops what he has created. Rahman, the gracious. His mercy is vast, unconditional, and extended to all of creation, believer and non-believer alike. Rahim, the merciful. This is a specific, earned mercy, the mercy that responds to effort, to sincere turning, to the one who tries. Maliki Yawmiddin, master of the day of judgment. Every effort you make will be fairly accounted for, nothing is lost. These 4 names tell you exactly who Allah is and exactly what kind of relationship He wants to have with you. The chapter then explains the purpose of human existence. You were created for ibadah, worship of God and the effort to come closer to Him. And for that journey, you constantly need His help and guidance. You cannot do it alone. That is not a weakness. That is the design. Al-Fatiha contains a complete prayer, one that expresses every need the human soul carries. It teaches you to ask God for help so that you can succeed in this life and the next. It points you toward those who came before, the righteous ones who walked the right path and were guided and rewarded by God. We are taught to ask, "Let me walk that same path." And it ends with a warning. Even after being guided, a person can lose focus, go astray, drift away from God, not through dramatic rebellion, but through quiet neglect. So we are taught to stay alert, to keep asking for protection, to never assume that guidance once received cannot be lost. How Al-Fatiha relates to the rest of the Quran. This chapter is the introduction to the entire Quran. It is a summary of the whole book, a clear, compressed picture of every topic that will be unpacked in the 113 chapters that come after it. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him himself, is reported to have said that Al-Fatiha is the most important chapter of the Quran because it contains everything. The prayer you must say before you begin. Before you recite the Quran, Allah instructs you to do something specific. He says in 1699, "When thou recitest the Quran, seek refuge with Allah from Satan, the rejected." This isn't a formality. It's a protection with 3 layers. 1. That no harm or evil reaches you through your recitation. 2. That you don't miss out on any of the guidance being offered. 3. That after receiving that guidance, you don't fall back into the old patterns. So when you say these words before opening the Quran, you are asking for 3 things at once. First, that weakness, negligence, sin, or bad influence doesn't cause you to miss what's right in front of you. Second, that you understand the teachings correctly, not through distortion or misreading. Third, that understanding alone doesn't become empty knowledge, that it actually changes you. The words to recite are, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim." I seek refuge with Allah from Satan, the rejected. Say this before every reading of the Quran. What the word surah actually means. Before we go deeper into Al-Fatiha itself, let's look at something foundational. Each chapter of the Quran is called a surah. There are 114 of them in total. The word surah carries 4 distinct meanings. 1. Rank and honor. 2. A sign or marker. 3. A high and beautiful structure. 4. Something complete and whole. The chapters are called surahs for all 4 reasons. Reading them raises a person in rank and dignity. They mark the beginning and end of different topics throughout the Quran. Each one is a strong, beautiful spiritual structure, built with precision and purpose. Each chapter presents a complete self-contained theme. The Quran itself uses this word in 2:24 and 24:2, and the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, used it directly. Just now a surah has been revealed to me, and it runs as follows. This word wasn't invented later by scholars. It was used from the very beginning, by the Prophet himself in the moment of revelation. Subscribe to understand the Quran and grow closer to Allah. And if you want to go deeper, watch this next video.